Liliana of the Vale has been dominating formats ever since she was released in Innistrad many years ago. I remember when she first came out in Standard and faced her a lot, used her a lot myself, and she's incredibly dominant. Every format she's in, she can essentially warp. And for a while, Wizards of the Coast actually said she was a mistake in design, that 3 mana was far too powerful for a creature that did so many things, making each player discard. Not only got rid of your opponent's hand, but it fueled your graveyard, enabling you to cast delve creatures, flashback spells. -2 got rid of all of the powerful threats in Modern. Tarmogoyfs, Geist of St. Traft, anything with hexproof would never be safe. And meanwhile, while she gets to -6, which essentially gets rid of all the important permanents that your opponent has. So if you can get to -6, you pretty much win the game. And if you consider this is on a 3 mana Planeswalker, it's pretty ludicrous that this has been re-released in Standard. Now, coming into this, I'm pretty sure she will probably see a nerf at some point. I predict she'll go to 4 mana, or they'll tweak some of the numbers, but raw abilities just like this, I feel like she's probably a bit too strong for Historic Brawl, but we'll see. This deck will utilise not only the discard, but the sacrifice, and it's not really a discard deck or a Liliana deck, but it's a bit of both really, and it's basically a mono-black control shell looking to eke out control by discarding your opponent's favourite and strongest cards. And once you get to the top end, you've got Bella's Citadel to close the game out, Professor Onyx, and Liliana Dreadful General, so there are a lot of the good Lilianas. We've got the Cruelty of Kix, which is one of my favourite new cards from the latest set, which is really cool. It's a lot like Elspeth Conquers Death in some ways, just because it lets you resurrect something from a graveyard. I suppose they combined Elspeth Conquers Death with the 5 mana Bolus's Saga, which I do forget the name of. But yeah, they've done a good job here, because it feels unique, but at the same time combines old abilities that we've seen before. So I do like the way Sagas work. Yeah, if you want to check the deck list out, the deck list will be in the description below, and give it a go, see what you think. So yeah, brand new Planeswalker, for Standard anyway. Once again, after all these years, let's see how she does. Don't forget to leave me a like and a sub if you enjoy the content. And you can also check out my Twitter and my Ko-fi donations page if you wish to donate to the channel. Let's get into the games. Okay, this is a good test of power. Vadric is one of the most cursed creatures to ever come onto Historic Brawl, just because of the things he makes people do. He makes people go evil. It's the extra turn spells, Khan's Temporal Sundering, all the extra crap. Yeah, he's just oppressively powerful. So let's see if we can deal with him. Let's give it a go. I think if we can resolve Liliana, it's going to be pretty awesome. Oh, God. So, I guess it's the Time Warp, right? Okay. They don't have anything good to counter with the Stroke. And the Electrolyze can deal 2, but maybe by then it won't matter too much. Luckily, this isn't Prismari Command. That would be far worse, because that can kill the Guardian Idol and make them a treasure. So here comes Vadric. Now, actually, not sadly at all. Not sadly at all. This is Sparta, after all. Right, here we go.
This fight finished before brunch.
Put the ghost form on Liliana. Make them sack Vadric, and now if they kill Lily, we get Lily back, and we're just having a big old flipping laugh, aren't we? No mercy. No actual mercy versus Vadric. Oh, this is so crazy, guys. Ghost form. 1 black mana. Give Undying to a Planeswalker creature, basically. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Make sure to choose the correct zone, so do not choose the command zone, because otherwise she will not return from that zone. Oh my god, Citadel.
This is my home, and I don't appreciate it when people touch my things.
So they've got Stroke. Let's draw some cards here before we choose what to discard. Ritual of Soot. Now I think we discard a Swamp, because the Soot is actually viable against Vadric. Not that they can cast him yet. Tell you what though, the clock is ticking. If they don't deal with Lily... I can't believe I've caught on to how powerful Liliana is before anyone else. I don't know anyone else saying how powerful Liliana is. She's mental. I'm telling you now, she's mental. Okay, so up Nixilis, the adversary. Not faced this guy in a while. I remember he was very popular when it first came out in New Capenna and then kind of died off a little bit. So let's see how we can handle multiple Planeswalkers. Whenever I see Ob Nixilis, I really wish I had Elder Spell in the deck, but it's a pretty rare occurrence, to be honest. Facing Ob Nixilis, so maybe it's not a very good main board card. And we could just straight up go for Liliana here. I mean, they could have a way to kill Liliana, but 2 mana in these colours, we'll see. Something with flash would be quite annoying. Thrill of possibility. Okay, I'm not sure why they had to do that in response. I guess so they can decide what to discard better. It kind of makes sense.
Drop it.
So if we discard the... We'll discard the Chainer's Edict because it's got flashback. We will be able to use that once more from the graveyard. Now here's hoping the opponent doesn't have their own graveyard synergies. Zergoth, Chaos Rider. So we could just straight up make them sack this. And then we can keep ticking up with the Liliana. And we don't want them to have any creatures because we don't want them to have double Ob Nixilis, do we? So make each person discard a card. So you can see here the sheer power of
your secrets.
turn 3 Liliana. It's incredibly oppressive. And probably not so fun to play against. But there you go, that's Wizards. And how they make money by releasing £50 to £60 cards into the standard format. So there you go. This is the thing about this card is it's a proven quantity. We know it's powerful, and they willfully released her back into the wild. So okay, so they're going to get a 1/1. So Cruelty of Gix probably coming down here. We definitely don't want them to get 2 Ob Nixilises though, do we? So not sure what to do. Could just -2, sack them, go for Cruelty of Gix. This is a tricky one actually. Make them discard, so this goes down to 3, then it goes down to 2. Yeah, I think I'm going to go for Cruelty of Gix here, just to get our mana. Use our mana to the maximum. Oh, blimey. What do we want to discard? I think we'll get rid of the Zariel here. And then we can make each player discard again.
You won't
so
be
we are really stinging their hand here, but if they do get the Ob Nixilis down, we are going to be taking quite the beating. And let's see what they do next. So if they play the Judith, that's going to be an extra 2 damage coming in. That will obviously take Liliana off ultimate. But to be honest, it's probably a bit soon for the ultimate anyway. Okay, Dread Presence is decent. We get to search for a card now. So what's the field on? They've got 3 odd, even. So the exile board wipe won't really work that well. But we could just Languish. I think Languish is fine. Although we will lose... We will lose Liliana, won't we? So what happens here? Yeah, I'm going to discard the Dread Presence. I just want to increase her loyalty just
drop it
before they decide where to send this damage, because this is going to be 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so they're going to have to kill Liliana, sadly, with the Tibot triggers and the Judith triggers, but oh well, at least it gets rid of the field, I suppose. I think that's enough to kill Lily. Yeah, that is incredibly convenient, but...
Watch it.
Oh, it's only 3, so what's the wording? Oh, it's an untoken, isn't it? Okay, fair enough. So sadly the the stage 3 of this saga won't actually get anything out of our graveyard. Oh, from a graveyard. Okay, yeah. Misreading all over the shop here. Although could get Dread Presence as well. What can deal damage to the 4/4? Anything? Don't think so. Let's just go for the Dread Presence. Yeah. Sorry guys, this is why you don't play Magic at midnight, clearly. So let's kill the Tibble, I think. 2 damage to any target.
That's it. Game over.
So get rid of that. And then we can just Blood Chief's Thirst here. Kill the Nightmare Shepherd. And this means we can just continue to uptick Liliana with no real downside.
Don't.
If they play the Nixilis, they can -2 to get blocker, but yeah. Amidst all of my misplays and all of my confusion, we still managed to win. Just testament to how powerful Liliana is, of course. Okay, this makes me excited. So, playing a brand new commander, probably untested by the algorithm. And I'm facing different decks. What's happening here? Kind of spooky if you ask me. Domri, Anarch of Bolas. I've never ever heard the word Anarch. I've heard the word anarchy or anarchist, but never Anarch. We've got the Phyrexian Scriptures, which probably is going to be quite decent here. So the question is, do I
look forward to seeing you running
I just kill the Druid? Because this gives their creatures +1/+0. So yeah, I'm not going to be able to hurt it with the Elswith's Nightmare because it's power 2 or less. So I'll use this to kill the Llanowar Elves, and we'll worry about the Scriptures later on. Because we can't just wait. This is a 2-turn removal board wipe. So we'll just see what happens. They're already down to 2.5 mana. This mana can only be used to cast creatures, so not as versatile. Let me guess, Questing Beast or something? People love Questing Beast. Whatever it is, it's just ramp. Okay. Loads and loads of ramp spells. Let's see what's in the hand here. Do we have advantage? Straight up creature build, okay. So when this deals damage, does it give anything haste? Doesn't look like it. So yeah, let's go for the Scriptures. It doesn't kill anything now, but the following turn it's going to wipe out their field. So if they play another creature here, silly billy to them, and then Liliana can mop up the rest. Luckily, Domri doesn't have an ultimate that, well, not a conventional one. It's basically fight, which is good, but why did they play this? Very curious to see why they did this. This is just going to straight up die. Okay, fair enough. Maybe they didn't realise the phase 2 of the Scriptures there. That does make me a little bit sad, but... Okay, so they're at 6 loyalty. Let's go for the key. And yeah, I don't know why they played into that. There was no way around that, sadly, but oh, I guess they've learned a lesson there. Opponent goes first with Lavinia, Azorius, Renegade. I haven't seen this one in absolutely ages, and it is just an absolute pleasure. So basically, it's anti-ramp. Each opponent can't cast non-creature spells with mana value greater than the number of lands. So yeah, stops mana rocks, stops mana dorks. Let's keep this. Pretty insane hand. Probably a lot better against control, but we'll see. This could potentially be a control build, or it could be an Azorius aggro build, which would be very interesting indeed. I didn't play the Duress there, because I'd rather go for the Waste Knot and then Duress. Which could punish us, but we shall see. Interesting, uncounted. I think there's a phenomenon here that when a new set comes out, which is today, Dominaria United, it brings with it a lot of people
my prowess is unmatched by my peers.
That get into the game, so maybe that's why I'm seeing a larger swathe of variants, but rewind. Okay, so Liliana is going to completely stop us from drawing extra cards, which is very irritating, so I think we're just going to have to... I think we're going to go for Liliana here. So we can't draw, but I can certainly make them
Nobody
discard.
knows Dominaria shall drop it.
Let's get rid of the Chainer's Edict because it's got flashback. Somehow I keep getting these cards together, which is a bit odd. So the rewind in their hand is going to be very irritating, but we can eke this out with a duress, so we'll see. So because they discarded a Wrath of God, we would normally draw a card with Waste Not, but we can't. So this Narset is definitely a problem. She is problematic, especially if all these cards are counters. Looks like Lavinia was a ruse, guys. It was a ruse. It doesn't matter what this card is, because it's still a control build with counter spells. Damping Sphere. This person's played against a lot of combo lately. Lavinia, Damping Sphere. This is really good against a lot of tier 1 decks. Golos. Here comes Lavinia, so they don't care about the rewind here, so they might have another spell. No counters at all. Interesting. Feed the Swarm. Let's give the land here. And yeah, let's make them sack a creature. We can save the cards in our hand, or even use them to discard later on.
Always hated crowds.
And I think you Grim Tutor whilst they're tapped out. And I think Elders Reborn is a sweet pick here, because if we do kill the Narset, then we can steal it off them. With the phase 3 of Elders Reborn. This is the name of the card I was trying to think of in the deck intro. This artwork for Liliana is awesome, and it's quite mysterious as well, because in the reflection behind her, she's wearing the Chain Veil. And if you do not know what the Chain Veil is, it gives her immense power. Power borrowed to her from 4 greater demons, each of which she has slain. Now, because they're all dead, they don't have any control over her anymore. And you can tell that because she doesn't have those purple lines across her body. She used to be etched with, I think, demonic runes. And since she slew them all, she now is unbound from their dominion. So I suppose it means she's as strong as she's ever been. Although it is a little bit sad how they kind of just forgot that story where she went to be a teacher on Strixhaven. But yeah, I guess Elders Reborn's good, but we don't have anything to bring back. Maybe feed the Swarm? Let's just kill Lavinia again. I don't know why she's playing that. Slightly strange. And let's see what they have in their hand. If there's a creature, we can't discard that, so... Well, it's got to be Teferi, isn't it? But annoyingly, we can't draw a card. Yeah, let's uptick. I think we get rid of the Onyx. This also works quite well with the Elders Reborn if we do get that off. So sadly we can't draw again. This Narset has single-handedly basically nerfed our entire deck. So if they go for Spark Double, they get another Narset. That is going to be very annoying. They've also got the Brazen Borrow, which they could flash in. I don't feel like even they know what they want. Spark Double Narset, yeah, so that's definitely happening here. So luckily these don't stack. We can't draw 0 cards now, but they can continue to add cards to their repertoire. And they can't find lands either, so yes, definitely irritating. Let's go for the Elders Reborn. Now, because they have 2 Narsets, this is actually pretty irritating, because every time we make them discard, we gain 0 advantage. We should be on like 4 or 5 cards in hand here. If they discard a creature though, we do get a zombie, so I wonder if they'll ever let go of the Brazen Borrower. Will they say goodbye? No, Planeswalker, okay. So they certainly know how annoying they are, because they keep making Narsets, but 5 mana. They can't go for the Godfarer's statue yet.
Meditate
Man,
and prepare.
I actually cannot believe how powerful Narset is. Fumigate, that does nothing on this field. Originally printed in the... This one is the War of the Spark one, isn't it? Yeah, so that's a set with like 50,000 Planeswalkers. The power level of this uncommon is unfathomable. Probably the strongest uncommon I think they've ever made. Shuffle the graveyard and draw a card. Okay. Each opponent discards a card. So they can probably... Yeah, they're never going to discard the Poison Borrower, are they? Never. So we might as well just make everyone discard again. The arena is going to be useless because we're just going to start losing life from this. Now, the scary thing about stealing the Teferi here of Dominaria is if we do that, they can just return it to their own hand. And that's something we don't want to happen. So we might actually want to return the Professor Onyx to play. Because if they return that to owner's hand, it's our hand. But then they would be getting the Teferi. Interesting, they gave us a zombie. I think that may have been a mistake in a lot of different ways. Because not only could have this bounced the Reborn or the Liliana, but it gave us a zombie which can attack the Narset. So now... So they've realised that and they've basically given up on the Narset plan. Okay. Spark Double was really great with Narset because it gives them an extra activation. Another board wipe. So we definitely have an advantage here against a player that only cares about creature removal. Cleansing Nova. Okay. That's interesting, so that we don't get anything back.
Don't overthink things.
But if they don't deal with the Liliana, I'm really not sure how they're going to come back from this, because I'm just going to divide their lands into two at this rate. And I'll probably say divide it by islands or plains, so... Unless they can deal with this here, they're in a lot of trouble. If they choose to cast the Lavinia, then we can just put her on one of the piles. You know, there's a lot of different options here. And it doesn't look like we have much advantage, but the fact that we have this ultimate is already pretty insane, despite the fact we have missed out on like 4 or 5 cards with the Waste Knot being antied by their Narset. So I actually think I don't divide yet. I think we probably just play the land, discard, because this Pharaoh statue isn't actually doing anything to us, really. It's making us lose 1 life a turn. And then if we -6 in the following turn, then we get to keep her. But they just discarded the Kurapesa Seal, which is pretty scary, because why would they not want this? That's really powerful. 3, 4, 5. I mean, I know they only have 6 mana, but this would have forced my hand to get rid of all their stuff, make them sack something. If they then kill Liliana here with a kill spell, we can just redeploy her as well quite a few times. So she's only going to cost 5 and then 7, so we can do that 2 more times before needing more mana. Dread Presence. So let's ultimate her here. So we're going to have to tactically choose which 2 piles to make. So they've got 7 things. So I'm going to have to make an interesting pile. They draw 2 cards. That's really going to help them. Choose groups. So this is going to be group 2.
Good.
Along with those, I think. Yes, I think 3 islands or these 3 together. Let's see how they choose. I mean, if they choose the Pharaoh statue, they're going to not be able to play any counter spells. If they choose the 3 blue, they're going to lose 6 mana worth of taxation effects. Also, there's so many downsides, like if they take away all the white, they're not going to have any board wipes to kill the Dread Presence that I'm about to play, but they don't know that yet, clearly. It's a very mind-blowing card. They chose to keep the greedy side. Fantastic. We probably just win the game then. Not sure how they're going to come back from this. Blast Zone can't tick up. They don't have access to blue, which is the entire control-y aspect of their deck. Okay, fine, they drew a blue source. We'll see. And a Dovin as well. So that's going to prevent the Dread Presence from dealing any damage. No doubt. But then we can just swing in with the zombie.
Pursuing creativity. Defy
Fel Spectre. It's a pretty good hit. So they're going to get rid of more cards from their hand. Make them lose life. So we might not even have to swing in at Dovin here. We could just go in at their life, but we'll see. See what they choose. They choose to Fairy, they lose 2 life. Each player discards, they lose 2 life. Yeah, Fel Spectre's a really nice synergy piece in here. If you have a way to make them discard multiple cards, you could potentially just kill someone. They got rid of our Revelation, interesting. So we might as well swing at both at the Dovin. It's not going to die, but
that's your best. I needn't worry.
I do wonder if they got a bit cocky with the land choice. Who knows? I mean, they do have more diversity here, having blue and white. Maybe I'm going to lose this game. Maybe not. We'll see. The fact they're still in the game is quite concerning because not many people can survive an ultimate from Lily, but 1 card in hand. In a way, I hope it is a counter because probably not going to cause anything anyway. I don't think the damage from the Dread Presence. It sort of doesn't really matter, but I guess what else were they going to do, you know? So they can put Blast Zone on 2. I draw a card and I lose a life. Yeah, so we might as well play this. Seeing as we can't deal any damage with the Dovin. And it's an Argyll's Bloodfast, which I think I'll play before we use the Lily ability. So they counter this. They counter it. Not much we can really do about that. So now we'll tick up. So just be careful when you use this ability. You don't want to have any good cards in your hand.
You won't be outsmarting
So it's just a
me.
land. And then we can activate it again to draw something else. Ritual of Soot. So that's going to be very useless against them. We might as well clear the Dovin and then swing into the face. Down to 10. So they probably need a board wipe here, but they've only got 1 planes. So I don't think the chances of that happening are very high. And yeah, managed to take out the Azorius control player. Felt pretty good. Don't forget to check out more of my videos and also my Ko-fi donations page. You can donate as little or as much as you want.